right, let's go. Bess Conversations Podcast. My God, I got a legend on this thing. If you're seeing it, believe it. It's going down. Bess Conversations Podcast world. I just want to thank everybody that's been checking in. But we got a GOAT. When we talk GOATs, we got one in here today. If you were 16, 17 like me, every day at 4 o'clock, checked in, you know what you was doing. You was watching Rap City, The Basement, Big Tigger. We got Big Tigger on Bess Conversations Podcast.
What's happening?
No, man, I'm good, man. Down here in North Carolina, man. First, before we get started, man, how you doing, man? How's the family?
No complaints. Nobody really dealing with it too tough. I'm happy to be still working. I'm happy to be healthy. I just hope that we can save our summer. I was willing to give up my spring to get back my summer. Everybody needs to calm the hell down.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's right. Yeah, and thanks for keeping us entertained at night, man. That the lives has been quite interesting. Me and my wife has been setting the mood very, very nice for us, man. So we're gonna get right into it, man. Like I said, if you don't know, man, Big Tigger, he's a legend. From doing BET, Rap City to hosting 106 in Park, from doing the red carpet at BET to multiple other things. But some people don't know Big Tigger. It all started back in the Bronx, man. Let's start there, man. In the BX, man. How was life growing up in BX?
Average kid, we didn't have a whole lot. We wasn't like, didn't have nothing broke, but we didn't have a lot. Parents worked really hard, went to Spelman High School, got kicked out, and then graduated from Truman High School. I've been DJing and throwing parties since I was 15. Literally, freshman year in high school, me and a bunch of my friends started throwing parties for kids our age. So I've had a flyer in my hand or a microphone or a record in my hand going on 30 plus years. So, I mean, it's been kind of cool to watch it grow from where it started, which was just for fun, now to, we can make $1 or $2.
So you being in the home of hip hop in the BX, what was like some of your first thoughts and the first things you've seen of hip hop?
I mean, I see people plug the DJ and all the stuff up to the light, the street light. So there wasn't no generators and all that, So, I mean, I've watched it from, people just wanted to get outside and just have a good time, break dance, or, I've been around a long time, so I've watched it evolve tremendously, where you can have block parties in the middle of the street like that are, cool to have, versus we used to just go to the park and somebody would plug it up to a light switch. I don't know how they did it, but some ingenious person hooked it up, and we would just be out there. I would just be watching it like, oh, it was not even knowing how special it was, just to watch it, as a young kid, and then watch it just keep growing was kind of dope.
Yeah, and I remember hearing you say years ago, man, KRS-One was one of your favorite MCs. Was that because maybe you seen Chris around the way for being in the BX, or just because of those lyrics, man?
Nope, never saw Chris nowhere around the way until we got older. And when I lived in Co-op City, Curtis Blow's mom used to live downstairs from our building, so we would see Curtis Blow on the block every once in a while, which was like the nuts would just show out. I mean, the whole block would just show out when that happened. But I mean, KRS growing up was, A, he was from the Bronx. B, he represented, the epitome of lyricism. The punchlines was crazy. His delivery was crazy. Breath control was crazy. And we just connected, A, because he was from the Bronx. And I really, really like locked in on his lyrical, talent more than anything. And he was, I use that word during my radio show a lot, edutainment, which I got from, KRS-One, which is education and entertainment. So it was just, like Chris, the teacher, was actually teaching while he was rapping at the same time. So it was just something that I connected with.
Yeah, absolutely. So you end up to go to Maryland University. Take us through your choice of choosing Maryland. Why Maryland?
I had a partial track scholarship to the University of Maryland. I used to do the long jump, the triple jump, 4x4 relay, 4x1 relay, 4x2 relay in high school. So I got a partial track scholarship. It was far enough from New York, but close enough to New York, and they were paying for half of school. So that's why I went to Maryland. I was there my freshman year. I partially tore my hamstring, and at that point, rehab was really difficult and tricky with that. And at that point, I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to run anymore because I was a little nervy. It might not be the same. So I was like, let me get back into DJing. Because I hadn't really done it once I left New York or hosting parties or anything. I was like, let me try to get back into that. Got an internship at the radio station in DC, WPGC 95.5, where I started as an intern, and then I did overnights, and then I became, 6 to 10, all things WPGC for the longest. So that's kind of where it started.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So most people don't. If you're old enough to remember, BT was in DC back then. That was like the hub. Talk about how from being in DC to BET, like what was that transition like? Did you have to do any interning or anything?
Nah, I literally was on the radio at night, 6 to 10 p.m. They gave me a call and was like, we need a younger voice to do stuff for like Teen Summit, like the Snickers joint, like Teen Summit's being brought to you by Snickers, Hungry Why Wait, but they wanted a less grown-up voice for it. And because I was doing nights and I was, doing my thing at night, they kind of invited me down to read. So I went down, I read, and that was like literally, that was my job for the first 2-3 months I was there. I'd just come down once a week and read some liners. Hey, what's happening? Rap City's being brought to you by, and that was it. But every time I was down, I was like, yo, I know y'all need to put me on camera. I know y'all won't put me on camera. And I just kept pushing people like, yo, put a Tigger on camera. And one day, I think almost like 6 months, they gave me my first segment. Was called Hip Hop News. It was one time a week. It was like 2 minutes. I didn't care. Right. I was 32 million home. Could tell me nothing. I was like, that's the best 2 minutes everybody gonna see. And then Joe moved to New York. Les moved to LA. And then I got put on as the third host because I was still in DC where BET was at. So it was me, Joe, and Les. I learned a lot from Joe. I learned a lot from Les. And that's kind of where it all started. And then the following year, they were like, no, they came up with the concept of let's do the basement. And I actually grew up, like, I lived that life. Like that's why it wasn't hard for people to believe it, because I really did that all of my high school life. That was my high school. I was in a basement. You know what I'm saying? It was my man Clement's birthday, Clement Mac, his basement. Like, we was in his basement all the time. So like that, even the way that looks, it looks like his basement. So it was a lot of fun.
So we got a lot of college kids and other people watching that. What was your major in college? Did you do mass communications?
Nope. I was when I first got to school, I was an accounting major. My high school in New York, Truman. High schools in New York have like focuses. They could be language and arts. They could be business. They could be science and mathematics. My school was a business school. I literally graduated #1 in my entire high school in accounting. So I was like, oh, I guess this is what I'm going to do. So I went to school. I was like, can you make some money doing accounting? You pop it off. I got to school, and I was a little bored with it because everything I was learning the first couple semesters in accounting I had already learned in high school. It was a little boring, and I didn't know if I could sit behind a desk all my life. So I switched. I was a social psychology major. I just wanted to work with kids. I thought working with kids would be fun and challenging. And so I kind of was like back and forth. It was more like a major in accounting and a minor. But out of nowhere, I got an internship at that radio station. I was probably one of the brokest college students out. They offered me a job. I think my first contract was $25,000 a year.
Wow.
I left school so fast. I needed a check. I was like, I can make it work with 25. We're gonna make it do what it do.
Absolutely. So my first memories of Rap City with you was you doing the rap radio. You'll have different artists coming in. Y'all just sitting in the studio. It wasn't even the basement yet. Like you said, there'll be Les one day, Joe Clear one day, and then boom, explodes. Then here comes the basement. What year was it that the bet would actually be
99?
Yeah, 99 when it turned into the basement, because that's
99.
I feel like it just changed, man. Like everybody just, and we love Claire and we love Les, but it just seemed like when you got there in that basement, man, it just seemed like everything changed. It was, and hip hop was just ballooning at the time in 90, 98, 99. Like it was just going so nuts.
I was lucky to be in the right place at the right time, with what people would say with the right set of skills and the right focus for it. Because I mean, the music was the music. I didn't make the music great. The music was already great. The concept was dope. It was realistic. Then the booth thing, I mean, the booth was just something. I mean, I've been, again, 15, DJing, MCing, DJ beatboxing, something. So I mean, that was just something I kind of did, you know, like. And it was just, for me, it was just fun to get in there with people I either idolized or people that, you know, just for the challenge of it all. So the booth segment really kind of set the show apart from all the, it wasn't all the other, but, you know, from other rap shows that might be out at the time. And the fact that, you know, we were in my mama's basement, really with the best of the best, like flowing. So that kind of really set the show apart.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, at what point did the producers or anybody come to you, or was it your idea to say, hey man, you should go in there and rhyme with these cats as well? Because you know back in the day with Yo MTV Raps, you would just kind of just hear, like, you know, the MCs would rap, you know, here and there on there, but you, man, you was holding your own in there with those guys, man. Who idea was that?
Well, so you got to go. So on the radio in DC, I was doing nights.
Okay.
And the story goes, I had gotten a hold of How High before How High came out with Red and Method Man.
Okay.
So I called Kevin Lyles and at Def Jam and was like, yo, I got this early edit of How High. Can I play it tonight? Kev was like, no, don't play it yet. It ain't supposed to be out. How'd you get that? I was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, he was like, nah, just hold on to it till next week. So the same night, my competition played the song, and I was hot. I was hot. I called and was like, yo, you told me not to play the song. Yo, they played the song, blah, blah, blah. Now I can't, I'm looking like I ain't got the juice, da, da, da. Kevin Lyles and Michael Kaiser from Def Jam put Redman and Method Man on the plane the next day. It flew them from New York to DC, and we world premiered the song on the radio. Like the next day. And then afterwards, Funk Regulator CeeLo was my DJ on the show. Like after that, like people around the station knew that I, you know, rhymed a little bit. Like there was this, we had at least a 25-minute live on the radio freestyle session with Reed, Redman, and Method Man. And I still have it on cassette somewhere. Wow. But so after that happened, like people kind of like, okay, Tigger really, you know, did it up. So when the show started, they were like, yeah, the booth, we had an MC's rhyme, something. It was first supposed to be every once in a while I would rhyme. That was the first concept about it. And then I just kept going in there. So the very first Rap City, the basement, was Redman and Method Man. So they already knew what it was. So it was like instantaneous, like kaboom, let's go. So I mean, they had the concept, you know, Stephen Hill and Craig Henry came up with the concept. I just molded the concept to what I actually grew up with. So that's why it felt so realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. It was times we'd be like, yo, is Big Tigger Mama really up there? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Tigger upstairs cooking.
Cooking, like it was crazy, man. And so, like, like the best of the booths, like, you know, like it eventually became a staple in hip hop. You come to the basement, you rap, and then you want to get best of the booth. Like one of Luda's memorable lines is like one of the only MCs that got best of the booth twice or three times. Yes, you know what I mean. It was just became, that's what it was, man. In those early days and some of those early MCs, man. What some of the MCs that kind of shocked you in the beginning, that you maybe wasn't a believer, but you know, by the time the show ended, they got in the booth, you was like, okay, this guy's the truth?
I think there weren't very people that surprised me. I kind of had a good idea where people were going with it, like if you were dope or not. There are some people I might have came for. But I mean, it was entertaining. It was fun to do, and I would always tell people, listen, you ain't gotta come on top of your head. You gotta sell records. Do whatever makes you look good. I'ma do me, do you. I don't feel no kind of way about it. You gotta do what's gonna make you look right.
Take us behind the curtain just a little bit. Now, did these guys do some of that stuff in one take, or did you have to do several takes sometimes?
Most of the time, so early on, they used to let them do it over.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, the producers, as they evolved, was like, there is no doing it over.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doing it. You get it right. If you were an A-lister and you wanted to do it over, okay, maybe. But if you weren't an A-lister, because we also had a time schedule to shoot.
Right.
We had to be done by a certain time, blah, blah, blah. So, you'd have to be really dope or something would have to really go wrong for us to do it over. We got one shot. Get ready.
Get ready. Let's get it. So one of the more memorable ones I remember from the early days was the LL Cool J on the toilet, man. Like he just snapped. He was going at Jamie Foxx, Cannabis, all that. Do you remember that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember him pulling. He was in the booth. I remember he said, "I'm about to do something wild," and I was like, "What you about to do?" So he literally like it came on. I remember him scrunching his jeans down. I remember him sitting on the toilet, grabbing the microphone over like this. I was like, "Yo, no, you're not." He was like, he was basically on him. So I mean, it was. I remember that. That one, Rap City the Bashment with Elephant Man, Buju Banton, and Bobby Condu's special. I had no desire to go after Jay-Z. I just let Jay-Z go. Go play myself.
Yeah, and the last time he had Jigga on there before he retired, Jigga was acting like he didn't want to get in there. And I was like, yo, I'm sitting back looking at my TV like a fan. I was like, yo, Tig, make him get in the booth. Don't even play with it.
Make Jay get in the booth. So I mean, like, it's one of them things. Like, what I've come to understand is it is for some people and it's not for some people. And I mean, there's pressure to do everything in life, but you got to do whatever's gonna make you. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely about money. It is a musical business. You can puff up your chest all you want to, but if you play yourself in there, you might mess around. And in these days and times,
absolutely.
Yo, if there was a booth right now, the viral part of it would be crazy.
Man, so you become a prestige journalist in this day. And me personally, I always enjoyed Rap City. But some of the knock that some people would say back in the day was Big Tigger's in there laughing and joking with him that he's not asking the hard questions. Like, what do you say to some of those people back then?
Well, I was in charge and not in charge. There was producers, and sometimes artists specifically said to producers, "We don't want to talk about X, Y, Z." And because the network had friendly relationships with most of these artists, that's what it was. The laughing part, I was enjoying myself in front of 72 million homes every day, 2 hours a day. I ain't had nothing. What was I supposed to be mad about? Or Scout? I was having a good goddamn time. I don't care if people say I laugh too much. I thought that was a stupid assessment. I'm laughing too much. Fool.
Right. And then you know the haters, you know, the Star and the Buck Wilds felt like, you know, you was, you know, just, you know, acting, you know, just too nice. But as a fan, man, I enjoyed every minute, every second of Rap City, man. I didn't care, you know what I mean? Anyway, it was a different age then, man. We didn't, outside of the videos, you didn't really know much about artists unless you was reading the Source magazine. So,
Right.
It was really nothing much to pull.
Times were definitely different. We tried to, I wasn't like, if we, it'll be really hard to do right now, but even if we did it right now, I pride myself on asking tough questions in a way not to make people defensive. I know how to ask you stuff without, you know what I'm saying? You could go for somebody's neck, but then what's the point in all of that? You ain't gonna get the answer that you really want to get. At the same time, that was probably the greatest hip hop musical era there was. Maybe not monetarily because there's just more money to go around and things like that, but it was a really, really great time. What a time to be alive, to be like that.
I graduated high school in 2003. So I really from 99 to 04, well, I think he was on the basement to like 04, 05-ish.
05.
Yeah, that's like my favorite, greatest time of hip hop, man. The South was on this rise. Your Maryland won the championship, I think, in like 01. So I know you was hyped about that. 02. Shout out to Juan Dixon. That was my guy, Baxter. Man, it was just so crazy, man. Before we continue, man, talk about that. One of the most viral clips in the booth to me was when Cameron did
counting the money.
The counting the money, man. What was that like seeing that?
My twin cousin Killer, shout out Cam.
Yeah, man. Y'all did the R. Kelly video together.
Every moment, there were lots of moments in there that were special. And you knew they were going to be special even before they came on. And watching, and he was just so nonchalant about it, which made it dope. Right. And there were just different moments, and that was definitely one of them. A lot of people talk about Lil Wayne's verse. A lot of people talk about, me and Luda had 3 epic ones. Like
epic, yeah. Every time you and Luda got in there together was like
Luda used to push me. Like that time he was like, I'm a kidnap free and hold it for 10,000, and so he was like, bring 10,000, and I immediately picked up on that and folded it into my freestyle right after.
You said, I'm gonna need more than 10, man. Some days I just bench watch, Rest of the Boost, man. I just wish, Rap City, BT's doing the BT Plus. I just wish they could just put all that stuff on the app, man.
Well, they can't put the old ones up because there's a clearance thing with whatever beat we rhymed over. I heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to clear all the music all over again, which I don't know if that's going to cost. I had to put it out myself. But at the same time, it's not back on because of me. I've offered my services more than once or twice or 200 times that I was like, if y'all want to do it, we can do it, but it got to be done right. I'm not going to do it just to be doing it. For some reason, they just are uninterested with revitalizing it or bringing it back.
Get at it. Come on, Viacom. So the transition to 106 in Park, was that because of the departure of Free and AJ, or?
Well, it was 2 parts to it. I was coming off of the basement, and Luda, for all the dope, Luda's kind of the reason. Luda started the change of Rap City. Luda was his 4th time on the show. Luda was like, I don't want to go in the booth. He was like, there's nothing we and you can do in there that's going to be better than the last 3 times. And I was like, okay. And that made a light bulb go off in like the building. Oh shit, like we had 6 years. Most TV shows, to get syndication, you got to make 7. So we had reached like the shelf life. Like 7 years is a healthy, sustainable run for a TV show. So I also was concerned about being typecast as just a hip hop guy. I knew I could do more than just hip hop. And I was like, I want to do other stuff than just hip hop because I can. And then so they were talking about switching up Rap City, and then Free and AJ left, and I had another show with Melissa Ford at the time, BET Access. I was still doing BET Uncut.
You lucky.
And they were like
standing next to Melissa Ford.
Fact. And then they were like, when they left, they were like, well, Tigger, you got the most experience, you the most well polished, like, take over. And I was like, all right. Like, it was like being like, say you playing football and the quarterback went down. It's like, you up. So I was like, I just looked at it as an opportunity for me to do exactly what I said I wanted to do, show people I was more than just a hip hop guy. Because that was, for all the people who love Rap City, 106 Apart was the show.
That was part of my life. Talk about the chemistry of you and Jalissa, of learning y'all chemistry. Because she did a show like 3 o'clock or something like that. I think before your show, the Center or something like that back in the day.
I think so, right?
Yeah, and so talk about the chemistry you and Jalissa.
It was just, I mean, it took a little bit of time, but to her credit, Jalissa was like, look, I'm the new person. You the OG. You've been doing this for years. Like, I'll follow your lead. And, she had a lot of personality and she was dope in her own way, but she kind of would be like, yo, Tig, like, let's go get it. Let's get at it. Like, so it took a little bit of time of us learning each other's nuances, but we had a lot of fun. I enjoyed working with Jalissa.
Tons of fun. What was you surprised or that Rap City didn't kind of feel the same after you left? They tried several hosts, Mad Links, Jay Nix, those guys. Was you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because they didn't hand it off right.
Right.
I should have been like, yo, I'm out. Here's my little cousin. Rock with my little cousin.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. They took me off, and like I think a week or two later, they was like, "New Rap City, new host," and Mad Links was just so far different.
Right.
It was like
as a fan, it just didn't feel the same. Like,
it wasn't that he was not good or anything.
Right.
It was just so different.
Right.
It was like all of a sudden they changed the ingredients.
Right. I mean, you did get a send off, quote unquote, when Patti LaBelle, bless her, came down for the last episode. But it just didn't feel right. I didn't know nothing about Mad Links at all. But it was just different. So it was just like, man, I don't know how much Rap City is gonna last. But
I mean, again, it was 1, 2, 3 hosts after me.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, I think it was over.
Yeah.
I don't feel again, I think everybody who watched the show, I think everybody supported me. I feel very blessed to have been a part of the fabric of hip hop over that period of time. That I haven't been on that show in over 14 years. There is not a day, and I mean a single day, that goes by that someone doesn't say bring back Rap City. For me not to have been on that show for 14 years, and like literally every day someone says it either in a comment or in passing, so you need to bring Rap City back, is truly a testament to the strength of that show and how important it was. So I tell people all the time, if I died tomorrow and I left that piece of that fabric for the cloth of the culture, I'm good.
That's crazy. So eventually,
I want to stop you. I got like 2 more minutes.
My bad.
Okay, go ahead.
It's all good. Well, Tig, man, I really appreciate your time, man. Man, you've been in my life, man, and did it positive as well. I mean, it was never no crazy scandals or anything like that. I mean,
thank you, Jesus.
set out to be a role model or anything like that, but just seeing you on that tube as a young African American, I was at that time, seeing you do it, man, and that's what even gives me the courage to want to do these interviews and podcasts like that. So truly, from the Bess Conversations Podcast family, thank you. First off, and I gotta say, super thank you for doing this, man. This is, you have made my year. You have made my life.
Well, I appreciate the love. Again, shout out to anybody who ever watched the show, who ever had it on VHS. If you're young and you're watching it on YouTube, take the history lesson, apply it wherever you need. But shout out to Rap City. This is the 30, 30, wait a minute. Let me get this right. 31st anniversary. Rap City started in 1989, and I came on in 98. So, but 2020 is the 31st anniversary. And the one thing that I will say, I was really disappointed that at the 25th anniversary and the 30th anniversary, Rap City didn't do anything. I mean, BET didn't do anything to salute Rap City. I was really disappointed in that.
Yeah, man. It's sad, man. But thank you again, Tig. Is anything you need to plug to lead the people with before you get up out of here?
Pull up on the Tig at Big Tigger Show, all social media. I'm on V103 Monday through Friday in Atlanta, 2 to 6 p.m. If you're not in Atlanta, radio.com is the app. It's free. You can listen to me wherever your phone is. If you're at the crib, ask Alexa. She'll pull up on the Tig too. Official Atlanta Hawks DJ. I got to find out if I want to be DJing for the Falcons this year. And if you have time and you have wherewithal, please, in free money or time, visit this website, the number 4 HOSEA.org. Hosea helps. We do a lot with homeless people and, getting people who need help here in Atlanta. I would love for you to, I'm on the board of directors with that particular foundation. Shout out to the Omalami family and the Williams family. And BigTigger.com. Go get you a Rap City Raise Me t-shirt. You did?
We'll do that. Thank you again, man. Before you get out of here, Tig, just one last thing. Can you just give a plug to Bess Conversations Podcast, and that's it.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's happening? It's your man Big Tig doing big things. You checking out the Bess? Say it again.
BESS, Bess Conversations Podcast.
Bess Conversations Podcast. 3, 2. Hey, what's happening? It's your man Big Tigger doing big things, and you checking out the Bess Conversations Podcast. You dig?
Thank you, Tigger.
All right, folks.
Thank you.